Dimitri, I'm part of NSX. I've been there for quite a while, since Nicira. I come from Nicira acquisition. So as Pooja mentioned, I mean, NSX-T can provide consistent view for network and security for the applications your granddad made on bare metal servers, you made on VMs, your kids are making on containers, whatever, if it's on-prem or in the cloud. So NSX can give you all of that, but my boss, Pooja, asked me to do a presentation for the dads. So it's not about cloud and containers, because usually the dads are not there yet, but it's all the enhancement we've made for using network virtualization for the dads, and all the ease of use we've made, whatever, if it's the management, the deployment of new applications, and if they have some stickers on their laptop, also to help them to do automation if they want to, okay? And my session is all about demos. So the first one is central UI for all the network and security services, so switching, routing, load balancing, VPN, and firewalling. That's the only thing network guys and security guys deal with. And it's a central plane for all of that. So I'll show you my lab. So in my lab, I have obviously a physical router. It could be Cisco, Juniper, anything you love. And I have my manager. It's a lab. In real life, you have 3 for high availability, but in the lab, who cares? So I have my manager. I have one edge node. What is edge node? If you're new to NSX, it's the device that is in charge of all the central services. So north, south routing, central load balancing, central VPN. And in real life, you should have more than one for high availability and scale, but again, it's a lab. And I have a couple of ESX and vCenter. Again, in real life, you have usually more than 2 ESX, but for the demo, it's enough. I have a KVM. And all of those are already registered to NSX to save time. But we'll look at how it is in the UI to do the management of all of those. And I already deployed an application. So what I did is, from NSX, I created a north-south logical router. It's called tier 0. I created my first application that has its own logical router, LR1, plus a switch. I deployed a couple of basic web VMs on it. And I deployed, again, all from the central place NSX-T manager, a load balancer, load balancing my 2 applications to give them a high availability and scale and all the beautiful things load balancers do. Okay, so let's look at that in the demo now. So when you go on NSX, and I'm looking for my mouse, like an old dad will do. Here we go. You're on home, and you can see all the objects you already have, and you have some fancy dashboards. So let's go there. You can see on the NSX system itself, you can see I have one NSX manager. Again, in real life, you should have 3. But one NSX manager is all happy, it's green. I have 5 hypervisors, but only 3 are prepared. If I go there, you can see that, okay, now the Wi-Fi is playing with me. Come on. Or you will see in a minute. I don't know why it takes so long. I have 2 ESX and 1 KVM, as I told you. Oh, okay. My KVM that is connected to NSX successfully, and 2 ESX that are successfully managed by NSX. So easy way to quickly see what's going on to do your day 2 operations. So that's what we talked about, the fabric. I have my edge transport node I told you about, and I have a VLAN and overlay, and 1 vCenter registered. Okay. Network security, you can briefly and quickly see everything you have around security. You can see I don't have much because Ganapati will show you all the cool stuff. Me, I'm just showing you the ease of use. So my tier 0, tier 1, I talked about before. My switch, I have 2 because I have 1 for the VLAN to go to the real world, and down it's my VLAN, my overlay to go to my application, and 1 load balancer. So, of course, in real life, in real applications, you'll have maybe dozens or hundreds, like some customers on NSX-T, of those. And something cool is if something is red, because your VIP is dead or something, you can quickly see, drilling down, which ones are dead and go straight to the issues you may have. Advanced, that's to see I have one load balancer, one VIP, and one server pool, and so much, and so on and so forth. Okay, in terms of security and switching. So a very nice, easy way to have a quick overview of what's running. And if there are some components you are more interested in, and you want to have that on your first page when you log in, you can do a custom page with all the widgets you want in it. Okay, now about the application. So what did I do? I created a switch, as we talked about. I created my logical router that is connected to that switch. Here we go. On my switch, I have my two VMs. Here we go. My two VMs. You can see them actually on vCenter here. Demo 1.1 and Demo 1.2. And I have my load balancer, beautiful, my VIP. I created with this IP, load balancing this pool. And this pool, I have those two members. Okay? And because I do it for dads use IP addresses. But if you want to use NS groups, you can also do that. But again, it's demo for the dads. All good? Everybody is a dad here or not yet? Some kids? Oh, okay. Okay, so, and then, okay, I mean, you've seen a load balancer, nothing fancy about that, but if I go on, if I go on my VIP, which was .6, I don't know if you remember. Here we go. It's a super fancy website. It will show you the IP address of the client, which is my IP address. And it will show you the backend server. So I'm on 12, I'm on 11, I'm on 12. Woohoo! Don't have to clap. Okay. Now, all about ease of use again. So if you want to see the stats, you go under load balancing, and you go under the pool, and it's all click, click, click like the dads love. And you can see that, yeah, my two members are up. I have so many bytes in, bytes out, or you can see even stuff more interesting like the number of HTTP requests. Oh, the screen is too big. Yeah, and like this, okay? So very simple, and in just, I don't know, in 2 minutes, I've been able to show you management of switching, of routing, of load balancing, all that from a single pane of glass. And I don't know if you remember the dads. You can see I'm old as well. I mean, in the old days, I mean, what do? You do SSH to your top-of-the-rack Cisco you love or Juniper you love, and you have multiple top-of-the-racks, and you see all the VLANs, and you go on the F5 you love, or A10 you love, or Citrix you love for the load balancing, and you go on your checkpoint. I mean, the goal is really to be able to do that from a single pane of glass. Okay? No question? Which is a goal, no question, because it's super easy. Okay, so now what is my demo number 2? And I'm fighting with the PowerPoint again. Do you see something? Yes, good. So this is demo number 1. So, okay, I showed you all of that. Now, demo number 2. So I deployed, before joining here, I deployed this application number 1. Now, let's say I want to deploy a new application, and let's see how long it takes you to do it. So I create a switch. Again, usually, the DAS, what they do, they go on all the top of the rack and create a VLAN on all of them, and it takes them, I don't know, depending on how fast they are on SSH, between 15 minutes to 1 hour. And then they create the load balancer, so they buy the F5 or whatever box, they go to the data center, they rack it, they plug the cable, they plug the right VLAN for that cable, they do a mistake, and okay, anyway. Half a day later, it's connected, the load balancer, sorry. Then they create the VIP, and then, I mean, finally, few days later or whatever, they have the stuff running. I'm making jokes here, but what we hear for real from customers, to do that, and I'm happy if you have other experience. I mean, it takes them, we're talking about weeks. Like a bank in the US, we cannot say names, 7 weeks to do this because they have to open a ticket after each of those little steps. And here, okay, now let's do it in a click way. Let's see how to do that same thing. And keep in mind, if you have some penguin tattoos or I don't know, let's stop with those jokes. I'm looking for my mouse. Where is my freaking mouse? Okay, maybe I'll buy a Mac one day. Okay, so, first step is what? We talked about creating my router. So let's do it. I create a router, tier 1. Let's call it, I don't know, how did I call the other one? I'll call it this, anyway. Tier 1 LR2, any name is, oops, okay, French keyboard. Sorry for that. T1 LR2. I want to plug it to my external router, okay? And I want to have it installed on my single edge cluster I have. And I want to advertise to the physical world my future LB VIP, and why not the segments I will connect on it. Save. No, I'm done with this. Okay, I created my router. Now I will plug a segment on it. A segment is a logical switch. So LS2, and I want this switch connected to my tier 1 I just created. And I want that subnet to be 10.1.2.0.1/24. Add, apply, save. Oops. I don't want that to be a VLAN. I want that to be an overlay. And save. So now I have created my switch, my tier 1. Now let's create a load balancer on my tier 1. So obviously I go to load balancer. Make sense? Yeah? Okay, we all agree. Because for logical switch, we call that segment. That's the only trick we give you. Everything else, it's super easy, the naming. Okay, so I plug that load balancer to my tier 1 I just created, my logical router I just created. Beautiful. No more configuration. Then I will create my VIP. And I don't have anything fancy in this application as you've seen. 21.21.21.7, port 80. And I want the load balancer, on this load balancer, I want to create a new pool. And that new pool, I'll call it pool 2, round robin. I don't know if there is somebody with the time watch. S1, 10, 1, 2, 11, 80. And look at that. Ooh, clone to save a few seconds. Here we go. Apply, save. Beautiful. Something cool we have on load balancing, I don't want to spend too much time, but we can really do some fancy stuff. Like we can do basic stupid load balancing like I've done now, but you can do also, URL load balancing, you can do host load balancing, rewrite of URL, and who knows F5? Okay, a couple of you. So you have to do TCL scripting. You need to learn a language. Again, it's an application that is a product that is designed for the daddies. So how would you do that? We're telling you, okay, you're at this phase when we receive the request before sending it to the server. And how would you do URL load balancing? You would say, hey, if the URL starts with app1, oops, French keyboard again. Then I want to select not the default pool, but I want to go to that pool. And that's it. So that's very, very simple. No need, honestly, not because I have a paycheck from VMware, it's super, super easy. I hope you all agree. Okay, and you don't have a paycheck from VMware. Okay, so I created my pool, I created my VIP, I created my load balancer, my logical router, my switch, and now it's all there available. So it took me, who had the stopwatch? Okay, like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and I had to fight with the mouse. So, okay, I want to move on because we have some cool stuff on security. Yeah, actually, Ganapati will do it. I didn't show you the security there. Okay, demo 3. Demo 3 is the same thing, actually. You can see my skills again on PowerPoint. It's exactly the same slide, animated slide. But now, let's say I want to do that instead of 2 minutes and 30 seconds, whatever it was, to 1 second. And again, I mean, lots of customers lots of network managers would have a big bonus to move from 7 weeks to 2 minutes and a half. But let's say though some of them are very picky and they want even double bonus and they want to move to 1 second. So we have this ability from day one on NSX to orchestrate stuff. But to be honest, I mean, you really need, like most of you, plenty of stickers on your laptop to be able to do that, because you had to do an API request to create a switch, wait for the UUID of that beautiful switch you just created, to be able to create your logical router and plug it to that switch UUID, blah, blah, and get the output to read the UUID again to be able to do. So it was plenty of API requests and a little bit more advanced API requests, because you had to play with the response to do your next actions, okay? So on this, we did a lot of improvements. And now you can do that in one single, and of course, it's on the wrong screen. Here we go. So what we showed about, you know, the switch, the router, the load balancer, all that stuff. Oh, I forgot to deploy the VMs of my application too. Let's do it. Otherwise, it won't work. Lab 2. OK. Here we go. Actually, I didn't show you the VIP2 in action. I'll do it in a minute. OK, now, so I want to create this app 3, this application 3 with the same stuff. So how do I do that? In one single API call, I do all of this. So I don't need to do one API call, get the UID, find the UID to generate my second API call. And I just create a tier 1. And I advertise this, and I call it, tier 1 LR3. Oh, something I want to highlight. I plug that switch on it, and I put some tags. Remember that, because I'll use that a little bit later. But you can tag any object, like you could do in the past. It's not a new enhancement, but we've done some cool stuff on that. I'll show you in a minute. So I create my switch, I create my LB, all that in almost, OK, it's not plain English, but in a very friendly way. Okay, so you don't need so many penguin tattoos to do that. And OK, actually, you don't need any penguin tattoo or ponytail. I don't have ponytail, I cannot. But I swear I don't have penguin tattoos, and I did it. So what this command does is just playing that API call. So let's do it. Boom, 200 OK, good. All is live on beta, so you see, not sweating, nothing. OK, and if I refresh, now I have my VIP number 3. It's not ready yet because it's doing it. But I have my segment. I have my tier 1. I mean, I have all that ready. And let's deploy some VMs on this so we can do the next demo. So, and yeah, let me show you the VIP2. Because now the VIP2 should be up. To show you there is no trick. I think it was 7, I hope. Yes. And I'm load balancing between 2.11 and 2.12. OK? So, OK. No specific question? No? OK, so now the network guys had his bonus to move from 7 weeks to 2 minutes and a half, and an extra bonus to do it in 1 second. Now, something we improved a lot is also the day 2 operations. Okay, so who knows Traceflow? Yeah, but you're paid by VMware, so you should know. Okay, a couple of guys. So it's not completely new, but we made it even better for more services, LB included. So you remember I deployed, before you came, or before I came, app 1, and I deployed click, 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 app 2 in another router or the switch or the everything, and app 3. So now let's say somebody is calling you and he's telling you, you know what, I'm in charge of app 1, and my app 1 needs to talk to app 2, and it doesn't work. And what do you do, or what, as a dad, what did you do in the past? Then you would, first you would ask him, okay, can you give me access to your VM1 so I can do some ping? So he needs to give you access as root. It's not always easy for banks or things like that. And it's a pain, honestly. And then you would check all the VLANs you have on all the top of the rack. But before that, where is the VM? You don't know. Is it on ESX1, ESX2? So you would go to vCenter to know where did they move? And if you have DRS, I mean, okay. And then 2 weeks later, you fixed it. Okay, now, long story short. Okay, the guy told you, okay, my VM1, oh, you see the VM, by the way, directly here from NSX. My VM1 cannot talk to my my VM1 application 1 cannot talk to my VM2 application 2, okay? And automatically, the IP address is done for you. You don't have to ask the guy, because NSX knows everything. Maybe not as much as Google, but a lot. TCP, and let's say the guy told you, okay, I cannot do it on port 80. Here we go. And you click trace, and you wait. What this does is really, NSX manager will talk to the ESX where you have this VM1, and will tell that ESX, please, or not please, but tell the ESX, send that packet from that VM VNIC, and if you sniff, you will really see that packet. With a flag, it's a test packet, but you will see that packet going out of ESX to traverse to go to the edge node, to traverse to go to the other ESX, and up to the VM VNIC. But the VM VNIC, there is NSX in it, not on the VM, but on the ESX where you have the VM2, and because there is a flag tag, test, it won't send it really to the VM2. So if you do a TCP dump on VM2, you don't see it. But everywhere else, you see really that packet. We really send that packet. And you can see that, zoom. Here we go. You can see that this VM1 is on that ESX called lab ESX1I, ESXi1. So you don't have to go to vCenter to know, oh, where is it? And click here and click, okay, where is it? You can directly see it from here, and you can see it goes from this switch to this router, to this router, to this router, to this switch. But that's the logical view. Actually, it goes from lab 1, and you can see where I am highlighted on the left when I go here. So it goes from the ESX1 to the edge node and to the ESX2 for all the steps, because actually from this VM to this VM, I'm crossing a lot of things. Switching, routing, firewalling, load balancing, and so on and so forth. So a very simple way to, and you can see at the end, it's well delivered. So if I had a firewall here or a distributed firewall here blocking it, it would tell me, and it would tell me, okay, this is red. I don't deliver, I dropped it because firewall rule 25. Or if I did not connect well my tier 0 to that router, it will tell me I stop here because I cannot go here. So it will tell you where it stops. And, or if it's on the fabric, maybe everything is good on the logical world, but we always have an underlay. So at one point, it goes from the ESX to the edge node, and from the edge node to the ESX. Then I would see it here. It's not received. And I would see it here, red tunnel, because my communication between those two nodes, my overlay tunnel, is broken. There is a heartbeat for it. Okay? And you would receive syslog and all that also, and to get alarms on the dashboard as well. But let's say you didn't look at the dashboard, you can easily see it here. Okay? So that makes day 2 operation troubleshooting much, much, much easier. It was just a matter of a few clicks. And the last thing I want to show you is the search. So let's say you have, now in what, 5, 10, or 15 minutes, I deployed 3 applications. I deployed a few segments. Why the hell is it so long? Come on. That's the beauty of live demo. So I deployed a couple, here we go. A couple of logical routers, a couple of switches, a couple of load balancers. Okay, all that is cool. Please. No, not yet. Okay. Here we go. It's up. A couple of plenty of things. And now, let's say I want to, and maybe they were deployed by somebody else, or maybe some orchestration because you have some people within your company with tattoos doing OpenStack, doing containers, doing plenty of stuff on the same NSX. And you want to look at everything that is related to app 1. And here, you can see that all those objects, this router, this load balancer, this switch, this VIP, this pool, are all from that. How did that happen? It's because I was using the tag, you remember? The tag in my automated deployment. And if you don't like API, you can do it directly here. If I go on my segment, like LS2 I did in front of you. I don't know if you noticed. Tag, I can add the tags myself. So the script, oops, not this one. The script, not this one. I'll get, yeah, LS1, sorry. I created some tags. That's why in the search that happens. And all the plugins we have, OpenStack, Kubernetes, they use that. So you don't do it. You just deploy your stuff with OpenStack, deploy your stuff with Kubernetes, but it will add a bunch of tags. Who did it? And what application it is. So in the plugin, OpenStack will create this, Kubernetes will create this using the tags, and then it can help you to do the search. Okay? So if you use those applications, it's done for you. You don't need to do stuff on your own. So search is pretty cool. And what else I wanted to show you? No, I want to escape. Yes. Oh yeah, and you can, yeah, something like here, actually, there is auto-completion. So you can do stuff like virtual machines. It will tell you all the words. Yeah, and I'm done. Virtual machines where blah, blah, blah. I mean, it will help you to complete a little bit like VRNI. I don't know if you know VRNI. To do your search. And the one you love, you can save them. And you have the recent. And OK. And if you don't know them, you have also the advanced to help you to do it directly there as well. OK. So that was the demo for the dads. And hopefully, this new release will help the dads network engineers or remove the fear from the dad network engineers to move to network virtualization.